had a cool job. I'm about to introduce you to the coolest guy on the planet. He gets to choose the toys that your children will be coveting next. That's just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I have always been fascinated with toys, and I'm sure you are too. You have a favorite childhood memory. I mean, who could have thought of the pet rock,
Yeah.
right? Some of you remember that. To talk about toy trends, Steve Starobinsky, he is with Diverse Marketing, and you are a leading toy expert. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jeff. It's weird to be considered a toy expert, but I guess I've been doing this long enough where it's okay. I started when I was 16 years old. I happen to be 35 now, so I've been in the toy industry more than I haven't been. And I've gotten the chance to travel all around the world. I've been to Tokyo Toy Fair and Nuremberg Toy Fairs and Comic Cons all over the world, all in an effort to find toys, study the market, where it's going, predict, speculate, market, and find cool people that are interested in play.
I love it. Tell us about that first job, because you said to me before we started rolling that that you knew instantly you had found your career.
Yeah, I was 16 years old, and I have a very special person in my life. His name is Ryan Logan. He's my big brother, not by blood, but through the Catholic Big Brother, Big Sister program. He adopted / became my big brother when I was 11, and at 16, he got me a job where he was working at this toy company named Funrise in Los Angeles. And I walked in, I was gonna make $10 an hour and be the receptionist. I couldn't believe it. It was significantly more than minimum wage. And I knew immediately there was a sense of joy. There was a sense of purpose that it gave me. I felt it immediately, and it's been validated. I knew I wasn't leaving, and all it did was gave me a platform to play as a career.
Okay, Diverse Marketing. Tell us what your company does.
Totally. Diverse Marketing has been in business for 62 years.
Wow.
Dallas-based, third-generation company. They have showrooms here at the World Trade Center, in Atlanta, in Las Vegas. They have dedicated offices in Bentonville, Walmart, and Target as well in Minneapolis. But it is a sales and marketing arm for toy and gift manufacturers. So you create something, and then how do you actually sell it to retailers? You hire a company like Diverse. They go out and pitch this to all the retailers, secure the orders, help you to understand how to avoid pitfalls, chargebacks, things like that, measure success, and be your partner. And we're a great turnkey go-to-market partner.
So we've got some video, and I think you can describe this for us. I think this is a showroom in Atlanta that you helped design. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I love this video, and I love this showroom. We got to build this showroom. This is in Building 2 in Atlanta, downtown. The Atlanta Gift Show happens twice a year, once in January, once in July, and the pandemic will shift those dates a little bit, but they will come back. This is the national show for all toys, trends, and gifts. It kind of falls under this umbrella. We have over 15,000 square feet there, and our showroom manager is an incredible merchant, and we got to build this beautiful play space for our retailers to shop and be inspired by.
Steve, I've got to believe that there's a lot of pressure on you because, one, you're using your gut, you're using your knowledge of the market, but you bet on a flop, and that's your reputation, right?
Absolutely. My stamp of approval, I stress about it. It's something that I put so much thought into. I'm really bad at selling things that I don't like. And, you know, unfortunately, I'm sure I've done that here and there. But in my position and after as much time as I've put into it, I'm able to really hone in on a couple of special things here and there, and I'm able to find this uniqueness about them. So you're right, my reputation's all I have in this industry, and so far so good. I've been able to pick out a few winners.
I mean, when we look back over like the history of toys, I mean, nobody knew that the hula hoop would be so hot.
Yeah.
Cabbage Patch dolls. I mean,
yeah. Look, the toy industry is so exciting because every 36 months, 60% of it changes. The child is watching and being affected by different media, and we literally have a new consumer every single year as kids age in and age out of our 0 to 8 core demographic.
Yes.
So it's such a revolving business that there is this constant hunt for newness and people, and to bring people from outside of the industry into it.
Yes.
And it creates a position for somebody like me who's good at kind of seeing something special, not just a brand or a product, but a person.
So I'm curious, do you ever gather together a little focus group of kids? Like, you think this is good, but you're seeing it from the view of an adult.
Yeah.
Have you ever grabbed like 3 or 4 kids of that age and said, here, play this game?
The short answer is sure. But unfortunately, there are so many layers for product success to our end consumer, the child. We first have to sell the retailer. Usually we first have to sell the bank to get the money to make the product. Then we have to sell the retailer. Then the retailer has to sell their boss to get that approved. Then that retailer has to sell the mom or the grandmother that's actually buying the toy. Then that goes to the actual child. So it's so layered that sometimes what kids actually like isn't equal to what will actually sell. It's a little...
Well,
wrong.
You've really made a name for yourself. You're a national thought leader. We've got a clip that we're going to run. You were just recently interviewed on Channel 8 about a toy shortage, which is still going on.
Absolutely.
Why don't you, as we roll this video, describe to me what's happening because of the supply chain?
Absolutely. So Corona affected the toy industry similar to many other CPG industries. It created, so in the month of January and October, Walmart, Target, and all the other larger buyers cut their fall orders for 2020, and of course Corona gripped it and they became so much more conservative. So this underbuy occurred. Next, the toy industry always outperforms other CPG industries during a time in the country when we're struggling, whether it was the recession or even 9/11. People gravitate towards that familiarity, that ability to play together. And 2020 proved exactly what we should have thought would. The industry's trending to be up 10%. And this is a $20 billion business. Like, it's super mature. And it's having an incredible year. And counterintuitively, it's not like the high-end or high-tech toys that are driving it. It's things like wholesomeness, lo-fi, authenticity, these words that are circulating in these marketing kind of circles and buyer conversations that are much more impactful than screen time or even technology.
Let's talk about the pandemic, because we were all affected by it. But in terms of like family time and people gathering together as a family to play games and stuff, how did that impact you?
Huge, Jeff, huge. The pandemic started and puzzle sales, traditional jigsaw puzzles, blossomed. They were retailers and Amazon on fire. Everybody was making puzzles. And as that began to plateau, the other part of that super category emerged, which was board games. I particularly find one board game very kind of representative of what's happening in society. This one company out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, their name's Solid Roots, they made this game called Mind the Gap. And that game, the second I saw it, I didn't even see a physical product. I saw a picture, a name, and the packaging like design. And I'm like, that's a hit. Because there was this intergenerational squabble that was occurring. Like okay boomer was something that people were saying, or like millennials are lazy. All of that, there was this fight that was occurring, and it, in my mind, created this need through play to bring people together. And instead of having them compete, we can have them compete through collaboration and working together, discovering something about each other.
All right, tell me about Kid at Heart.
Yeah. So Kid at Heart is my personal brand. It's my company. I started Kid at Heart because I was very much inspired by Anthony Bourdain. I believe that Anthony Bourdain showcased through food a universality in people. And I felt that play could do the same thing. So in 2019, before heading to Tokyo Toy Fair, I brought one of my best friends and my partner in Kid at Heart, Cole, and we went to Tokyo and filmed a 30-minute episode of our experience of discovering Tokyo through this lens of play. Seeing trends, understanding the differences between the marketplaces, eating, a lot of eating. We did shopping. We explored this unbelievable museum that was that set up. It was a Mori Digital Lab museum, and they did this incredible installation of high def projectors that created a basic room into this unbelievable technology environment. And it just awakened this play idea. And Kid at Heart, it's not just a company, it's a feeling that I see in product, and it's something that just calls to me that it helps people enjoy their life a little bit more.
You're perfect for this because you have this kind of Energizer bunny excitement about you. I mean, you never get tired about talking about toys, do you?
I don't. I genuinely love what I do. I tell people my favorite day of the week is Monday. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with finding and telling people's stories.
Yep.
I find that the play industry is so universal that it resonates with people. And I really believe that this Kid at Heart feeling is beneficial to society, and it's not something we've all lost. The metaphor is that it's just unplugged.
Yes.
I'm finding a product or a conduit that allows you to plug back in,
right.
Reawaken that Kid at Heart feeling within you, and use that as a marketing platform.
So right now we're in kind of the height of toy season. So right after Christmas and Hanukkah, does it begin all over again?
Yeah. In fact, it's already started. The toy industry begins pitching fall 2021 in September of 2020.
Wow.
We are a 14-month in advance business, which is, again, slightly counterintuitive because everybody thinks toys are so trendy and you have to be a lot closer to the trends. But that's the reality is it takes so long for a company like Hasbro or Mattel to run up their production and their marketing that they need a ton of lead time from somebody like Walmart or Target who's buying hundreds of thousands of pieces from them.
You grew up in Kiev.
Yeah. Born. Yeah. I'll tell you the funniest story.
Okay, please.
So my real name is Rostislav Starobinsky. It's my full name. My mom calls me Slava. And when we immigrated in 1991, I was 6 years old, and I wanted to assimilate as quickly as possible. So Steven Seagal was a big deal at the time. Slava, Steve, it was pretty close. And I'm like, Mom, I'm Steve. I am Steve. That is the American version of my brand, 6-year-old me.
I love it.
So I'm going by Steve all this time, and something really funny happened last year. The delegate for Ukraine gets up and says, "Excuse me, everyone. You have been pronouncing our city incorrectly. It isn't Kiev, it's Kyiv." And in my head, I'm like, wait a minute. Did I just become Steve from Kyiv? Did I just set that up completely? It worked out in my advantage. I've never had a nickname my entire life, and now I'm Steve from Kyiv.
I think we got a new brand.
Yeah,
you better get that domain name.
Yeah, thanks.
That's awesome. Well, you've been an amazing guest. We're going to put it in your LinkedIn page so people can get in touch with you.
Please.
It's LinkedIn / Steve Starobinsky. Thank you so much for coming on this show. You're amazing.
Totally. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.